I want to start off by trying to assign a sonic snapshot to the theory that you're going to be learning. And we're going to take a couple of tunes, actually a few tunes, and look at this principle of lower and upper neighbors. And the destination for everything we're going to do will be chord tones. We're going to be playing over a C chord, real simple. C, E, G, those are the three notes in a C chord. And you're going to learn three different forms of this arpeggio in a one note per string form across the fingerboard, which will move diagonally from the sixth string to the first string. All right, what I want you to do is listen to what I'm going to play here. Now, this is one of my favorite tunes of all time, and you might scratch your head after you hear this, but if you want to listen to some real shredding, listen to these guys that play this kind of stuff. That tune is called Zorba the Greek, and they start off slow and then they just blaze. They just keep ramping the tempo up. Now, the reason I'm giving you that tune is because harmonically you can hear how, here's a C chord coming right out of your cage system, and it's a D form. You can see how it looks just like a D chord, refingered, played up here. And all they're doing is approaching the C chord from a half step below, which obviously would be a B chord. Now, how does that sound against the C bass note? A lot of tension, right? But then we resolve it, and you're okay. Now, here's another example of a tune that uses the exact same harmonic move. We all know that tune, Jailhouse Rock. Again, home bass is the C chord, and you're approaching it from a half step below. Now, this technique is used throughout funk and rock and jazz. Let's say you're playing a funk thing. So you approach from a half step below. But I want you to take those two tunes and any other tunes that you hear that use this approaching from a half step below. Use that as a sonic snapshot to enable you to remember what we're going to learn here. So in this case, everything you're going to be playing would be approaching from a half step below. That's all that this lesson is about, is getting this idea in your head of we're going to take your C chords and approach them from a half step below. Because remember, when we played the B chord over the C bass, what did you have? Tension, which was then resolved. Now, that's the essence of what you're going to be learning here. You may already be the kind of player that has your pentatonics and your major scales under your fingers and your arpeggios. But now you're hungering for some things like the bebop players play and just straight-ahead melodies where these non-diatonic tones are used to create tension, but then they're always resolved to the chord tones. That's great melody. So that's what you're going to be learning here. So remember, today's lesson, this first lesson, is this idea of the Zorba the Greek tune where you're approaching from a half step below. We'll be using that in just a couple of lessons.